Today I'm gonna go visit the house I got evicted from, and I guess I'm just trying to find closure for that. I mainly wanted to start uploading again just so I can find a better purpose of my personality and how to be a little bit more openly vulnerable, because I think that I've just struggled doing that. There was a lot of problems with the house, and whenever we would try to reach out for support or to ask for help to fix them, they never did. The only time they really reached out was for the rent. The reason why we didn't move out or try to pursue any legal action with our landlord being so non-present, just in comparison where we were living just had lower rent. We didn't want to chance it going up any higher or getting forcibly kicked out, but it ended up happening anyways. Yeah, so any problem at the house that we did have, we tried to fix it ourselves. We were always poor, and even now I'm still living with my family. We can still see the effects of that in this newer house, which is significantly more in rent. In the process when we were getting evicted, and we were looking for homes, we were checking a lot of avenues, and we found this one renter, and it seemed pretty solid, and it was a place kind of close to where we were. My family couldn't afford the down payment at the time, but I was working. I could put the down payment on, and, we put it through, and then we get scammed, and the police couldn't do anything. That was really hard because we were already struggling so much, and I was frustrated. I was trying to help, but I was also in college, and I had a job, and I was starting to realize that I need to look into programs to make sure that I had a place to stay. We were homeless for a little bit. I got accepted into a program called Hoveness, and they took me in. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety. Give me a moment. Yeah, so I'm just trying to get closure, I guess. Not only beyond the landlords, but just all the good and bad memories I had there too. Some good memories I remember right now are just my brother, my sister, and my mom. We would all go outside and write on the sidewalk with chalk, and we'd write our names. My mom would do these big bulky letters and design a whole chunk of the sidewalk for us, and that was always just really cool because it was her perception of us, the way she would do those things. And then we were involved too by drawing our own stuff. It seems so trivial, but it just means a lot to me. I remember playing with the neighborhood kids a lot. We would have Nerf wars. We would get all our Nerf guns together, and we'd just go around shooting each other. We would go to our friend's house, knock on the door, ask if they could play. It's just so surreal looking back on that stuff because I didn't, I had fun in those moments, but I didn't really take it in. And I guess as a kid, you never would, you never really realize and cherish those memories as you're experiencing them. I remember we would take a lot of the bundled up newspapers that people wouldn't take from their front yards, and we would collect them, and then we would throw them at each other. We were pretty, I guess a lot of our things had to do with throwing shit at each other and being a little violent, but yeah, we would throw them at each other and shit, and it'd be a IRL TDM kind of thing where we would do that, and then we'd respawn, we'd go to base, and then we'd go again. I remember doing countless arts and crafts with my brother, my sister, and my mom. I remember playing two-hand touch football with the kids in my neighborhood, and my mom and my dad and my grandpa. We'd all be out there. But there was just a lot of good. But there was also a lot of bad. I don't talk about this a lot, but I feel I had a very traumatic experience growing up. I just said a lot of good and how many great memories I had, but I feel a lot of the times I remember more of the negative things that happened. I remember constant fights between my mom and my dad, my mom and my grandpa, my dad and my grandpa. I remember me getting yelled at, me getting disciplined. I have vivid memories of this one time on Halloween night. My mom got in a fight with my grandpa, and she took all of us, and we went into a taxi, and then we just drove off. My old house was the last place I saw my mom. Yeah, she passed away in that home when I was in the 4th grade. The last time I saw her beyond the open casket was on the floor in the living room while the 911 service people were there. We got woken up in the middle of the night. They wanted to carry us through the living room over my mom. And we weren't supposed to look. They told us to close our eyes. And I didn't. I opened my eyes. And this place is also a place where, I saw my grandpa get really sick, and then he ended up passing away too. The days before it happened, his voice was getting just more raspy and more sickly, weirdly high-pitched. And honestly, one of the last things I can remember is him being a little upset on Christmas because he couldn't afford stuff for us. And I also think he got mad that day, but honestly I'm blanking on what, but I remember him yelling. And then he passed away a few days later after Christmas. And that was in 2021. I've had a lot of memories in that house, in that neighborhood, and I guess I'm trying to get closure. I want to see, a part of me wants to see if it was worth kicking my family out. If they did renovations to the house, I feel like I would feel better if they haven't touched the house since. I do want to come back and kind of talk about what that experience was like. Maybe I'll have more to say. But my main goal here is to kind of just confront my feelings. Oh, wow. I'm seeing some of it now. Wow. A lot of these houses have changed, and a lot of them look exactly the same. Somebody's living there already in the front yard. Bruno. Hi. You remember me. That's so awesome. This is my neighbor's dog. Maybe I was expecting to get more emotional just because I've been more emotional recently. But I don't know. I'm happy. I think I'm content. The experience that I had with that house sucks. I guess I'm kind of just happy that somebody else is there living their own life, and I think that's for lack of a better word, really beautiful. Right now I'm at just a local park. Well, the park that I frequented when I was a kid. I was expecting to feel more, but maybe a part of me didn't know what to expect. I don't know, it just didn't bother me as much to, see somebody living in the home. That place has history that they don't know about, and probably will never know about it. But I do, and I think that's really cool. The home looks definitely way better than it did when I was living in it. It was repainted, a little bit of restructuring, but also all the changes that my family made to the home are still there. And my family lived there for, I want to say 60 years, it was crazy to see that a part of me and a part of my family is still in that neighborhood and is still there. I saw that a shed in our backyard was still there, and that shed means a lot to me. It basically started from there not being enough room in our home, and then after a while, me and my friends, we turned it into a little recording studio for our videos that we were making, and I'll link that video here too. I guess I'm happy that I checked it out, and I'm glad now that I saw what it looks like. I can just move past this. A part of that place was my identity, and I still think it is. I still think Carson is, where I grew up. It's a big part of my identity, but I think it's just time for me to move on. Come on, go. You can go.
I get out of bed, I dream of punching holes in my walls, but I can't.
I wanted to, what I really wanted to do it red, white, and blue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like a flag. That would have been cool.
Can't afford the loss after all that I've spent. After all that I've tossed right into the toilet, so I'll keep on dragging my feet across these nicely finished hardwood floors, till I get to the sink and I stare at the spot where the bottles could be, where the bottles could be. Could be where the bottles could be. Where the bottles could be. Where the bottles could be. Where could be, where the bottles could be.
That's what I was gonna
Happy birthday, dear Keithy Weethy. Happy birthday to you. Hey, remember when Jimmy told you that?
say. What?
Everybody back, everybody come up. Keithy's hitting. You remember that? You hit the ball right in his nuts.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.